We all know someone like this. The kind of person who can't get through a single conversation without gently turning it back to themselves, their latest win, their newest project, their big moment. Their social media looks perfect too. Every photo, every caption, carefully chosen, polished, glowing, a quiet stage built to collect hearts and comments. At first, it's easy to roll our eyes, to think they just love attention, to call it vanity, to feel tired of it. But what if it isn't just pride? What if that constant need to be seen, to be admired, isn't about self-love at all, but about something missing, something tender, something they're still trying to fill? What if the applause they chase is really a way to quiet the silence inside? Today, let's look past the surface, not to judge, but to understand. This is the quiet, complicated truth behind those who can't stop needing to be admired. Let's start with something simple but important. There's a big difference between wanting appreciation and needing admiration. Wanting appreciation is human. It's healthy. It's how we stay connected. When you've worked hard and someone says, "You did great," it feels good. When you cook for the people you love and they enjoy it, that warmth you feel, that's belonging, it reminds us we matter, that what we do has meaning. But needing admiration is something else entirely. It's not a quiet wish. It's a hunger, sharp, restless, endless. It's like chasing a feeling that never lasts. This isn't about joy anymore. It's survival. For most people, praise is like sunlight, nice when it shines, but we can live without it. For someone who needs admiration, it's like air. Without it, they start to fade. They stop feeling real. A healthy sense of self is like a house built on solid ground values: self-respect, acceptance, compliments. They're just the flowers in the window. But for someone addicted to approval, their house is fragile, a tower of cards balanced on the shifting winds of other people's opinions. Each compliment adds one more card, holding everything together for now. And living like that is exhausting. What about you? Have you ever known someone who always needed to be admired no matter what? Maybe you've even felt that pull yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this shows up in your world. So the question is, why does the foundation feel so weak to begin with? To really understand this, imagine something with me. Think of your self-worth as a cup. For someone emotionally healthy, that cup is filled from the inside with self-acceptance, kindness toward themselves, and a quiet belief that they deserve love even when they're imperfect. It's a steady kind of fullness, but for the person who needs constant admiration, that cup is empty, or worse, it leaks. No matter how much you pour in, it never stays full. That emptiness, that quiet, aching sense of not enough, is the core wound. It's not arrogance hiding inside them. It's fear. Fear of being unworthy. Fear of being unseen. Fear that if the world ever stopped applauding, they might simply disappear. So they search for worth outside themselves. They gather compliments, likes, and praise tiny drops to fill the emptiness for a while. But here's the tragedy: it never truly works. Because external validation isn't the right kind of nourishment. It's like trying to fill a cup made for water with sand. It might look full, but it never quenches the thirst. 100 compliments can vanish the moment one person disapproves. A single quiet day, no praise, no applause can send them spiraling into self-doubt or despair. The truth is, the praise doesn't heal the wound. It only numbs it. It soothes the pain for a moment, but never mends what's broken. And deep down, they don't believe the good words anyway. They think, if you really knew me, you wouldn't say that. So every compliment slides right through the cracks, leaving them more desperate than before. It's a painful paradox. Chasing something they can never truly keep. Trying to fill a cup that can't hold what it needs. And that raises the question, where did that hole begin? The answer, almost always, lies in childhood. This deep need for admiration isn't a flaw in someone's character. It's a survival strategy, a pattern built long ago, one that helped them endure, even if it now makes them suffer. Everyone carries their own story, their own shape of pain. But this pattern often follows a familiar blueprint. Blueprint A: Narcissistic Personality Disorder. When people hear the word narcissist, this is usually what they imagine. Someone who craves attention, who boasts, who seems to believe they're above everyone else. But what most don't see is that beneath all that pride lives a deep, unbearable shame. The grand image they project, confident, charming, flawless, isn't who they really are. It's armor, a carefully crafted mask built to protect something fragile underneath. For them, admiration isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. They depend on it the way lungs depend on air. Because without it, the false self, that shiny version of them, starts to crack. And behind that mask is a haunting emptiness they can't bear to face. That's why they have to be the center of every room, why they tell stories that make them look larger than life, why every compliment, every bit of attention feels like a hit of oxygen. It's not about ego in the way most people think. It's about survival. Every word of praise, every look of admiration keeps the illusion alive just a little longer. But when the applause fades, when the spotlight moves away, they face what they've been running from all along, that deep well of shame and worthlessness they've spent a lifetime trying to bury. So their need for admiration isn't just a craving. It's their way of staying alive in a world where silence feels like suffocation. They aren't really seeking love or connection, they're searching for a mirror that reflects back the perfect image they need to believe in. Blueprint B: Histrionic Personality Disorder, the need to be seen. This next blueprint is often mistaken for narcissism, but what drives it is something entirely different. The narcissist needs admiration, they want to be seen as superior. The histrionic person simply needs to be seen. While the narcissist might be content with quiet envy, the histrionic individual needs a stage. They live to be in the center of the spotlight, where every eye, every smile, every laugh circles around them. They're magnetic, lively, dramatic, full of color and energy. Their emotions come fast and big, like fireworks, dazzling for a moment, then gone. At the heart of it isn't pride. It's fear, the fear of disappearing when no one is looking. For them, invisibility feels like death, so they do whatever it takes to stay visible. They might flirt, not out of desire, but just to hold attention a little longer. They might turn a small moment into a grand story, because drama keeps the lights on. Their moods and even their opinions can shift quickly, adapting to whatever keeps people watching. They don't need to be the best, they just need to be noticed. And when that spotlight fades, they'll do almost anything to pull it back, even if it means turning joy into chaos. Because for them, being ignored hurts more than being criticized. Blueprint C, the childhood roots, conditional love. But where do these patterns begin? Almost always, they start in childhood, and most roads lead back to one painful truth: conditional love. Picture a child who only feels loved when they perform. They bring home straight A's, and the house lights up with pride. You're so smart, we're so proud of you. They win a game, and they're the hero of the day. But when they fail, or cry, or simply exist, quietly, the warmth disappears. No hugs, no pride, just silence, or worse, disappointment. That child learns something heartbreaking. My real self isn't enough. Only my achievements are. So they build their worth around performance grades, praise, applause. They grow up believing they must earn love, not receive it. And even as adults, they're still performing, chasing the next win, the next compliment, the next brief moment where they finally feel good enough. Sometimes the opposite happens. A child who is ignored, unseen, left emotionally hungry, grows up desperate for attention of any kind. They might become dramatic, charming, or endlessly self-promoting because somewhere deep inside they're still calling out, "Do you see me now?" In both stories, the wound is the same. They were never taught how to fill their own cup. They only learned how to earn drops of love from others, one performance, one smile, one approval at a time. These patterns of needing to be seen, to be admired, they've been with us for thousands of years. But never before have they had a louder stage. Never before have they had a tool this powerful. Welcome to the age of social media. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook aren't just places to connect. They are machines built to amplify the very parts of us that crave validation. They've turned admiration into a game with points, numbers, and bright little hearts lighting up our screens. We're not just looking for praise anymore. We're looking for likes, comments, followers, each one a tiny spark of approval, a digital pat on the back. And it feels good for a moment, because every notification delivers a small hit of dopamine, the brain's way of saying, "You matter, you're seen." But it fades just as quickly as it arrives. For someone who already needs admiration to feel whole, this world is a dangerous playground. It's like handing an open bar to someone who's been trying to stay sober. The more they post, the more the algorithm rewards them with attention, with numbers, with the illusion of connection. Show off your beauty, your success, your happiness, and the system lifts you higher. Be dramatic, emotional, larger than life, and the spotlight burns even brighter. It's no wonder so many of us have turned into performers, curating our lives instead of living them. Every like feels like a drop in that empty cup, a brief moment of being enough. But when the screen goes dark, the cup is empty again. Emptier, maybe, than before. And so the cycle begins. Another post, another selfie, another desperate reach for that fleeting feeling of being seen. Meanwhile, the algorithm watches, it learns, and it keeps feeding the hunger it helped create. This endless chase for admiration isn't harmless. It comes with a price, one that touches both the person living it and everyone close to them. Let's start with their relationships. Being close to someone who constantly needs validation is draining. Conversations stop feeling like a two-way exchange. Every interaction quietly revolves around one question. What can you give me? How can you make me feel seen? Friends, partners, family, they slowly stop feeling like people. They become an audience. They become mirrors, reflecting back the image that person needs to survive. And eventually, the people who once gave freely start to burn out. They grow tired, resentful, empty. Because loving someone who's always performing leaves very little room for you to simply exist. But the heaviest cost falls on the person themselves. They live in a constant state of quiet anxiety, always managing, always curating, always afraid the applause will fade. They're trapped inside the image they've created, terrified that if the mask slips, everyone will see how fragile they really feel underneath. It's a cruel paradox. The more they perform for love, the less loved they actually feel. Because deep down, they know the praise isn't for them. It's for the version they've built to be acceptable, admirable, perfect. And that only deepens the emptiness inside. Some of these people reach great heights, success, beauty, even fame. From the outside, it looks golden. But inside, those are golden handcuffs, a cage that sparkles. They can't stop performing. They can't stop proving. Even when the audience has gone home, they're still on stage, afraid to take off the costume, afraid there's nothing real underneath. So when we see someone like that, always fishing for compliments, always needing to be admired, it's easy to roll our eyes, to call them shallow, to think they're full of themselves. But beneath the performance is pain, a wound, a deep, aching emptiness built long ago in a childhood where love had conditions, where being enough always came with a price. It doesn't excuse toxic or manipulative behavior, but understanding where it comes from helps us see it more clearly, with less judgment and maybe a little more compassion. It helps us set boundaries. And for those who recognize this pattern in themselves, it opens a door that leads away from the glare of the spotlight and back toward the quiet, patient work of filling your own cup from the inside out. So what about you? Have you ever felt that hunger for validation or watched someone you care about get lost in it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe to The Archetype for more deep dives into the hidden layers of the human psyche. Until next time, stay curious, stay conscious,